on the agenda. At first, we'll take up Senate Bill 2509, the Outdoor Advertising Signs Bill. This is a committee sub, and so the work that we do here will actually have to go back to Judiciary A. This bill, the purpose of it is to amend Section 4923(9) to remove the maximum limits and heights and square footage of outdoor advertising signs. And the way I understand this is to fix some language that was put in a House bill several years ago that dealt with maximum height. And so we passed this out of Judiciary A with language that deleted some of the regulations that dealt with height and size. But since it came before the Transportation Committee, we have placed some of the language back in. So now the committee sub before you only deals with the height regulation. But again, just clarifies a House bill that came through several years ago. And that is the explanation. And I believe Mark Baker is here to provide other details if there are questions that I cannot answer. Any questions on the bill or motion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, that bill will be reported. Now we'll move to Senate Bill 2517, logging fleets, and I will recognize Senator Sparks to explain this bill.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. 2517 allows the Department of Public Safety to promulgate rules and regulations for a voluntary program of inspection of commercial motor vehicles. Now, in the short title, it referred only to the logging industry, but this will actually be in Section 1, Subsection 2. You can see any commercial motor vehicle described in 63-1-203. This is completely voluntary, but the benefit to the commercial truck driver is that if they want to have their vehicle inspected by the Department of Public Safety or CTED and receive a sticker, it's kind of like our old car inspection sticker, it would stop the random stopping of a commercial vehicle for an inspection only. So it's basically you're showing good faith to come in and have your vehicle inspected, participate in this program, and you could receive a sticker for your truck or trailer, which would stop, would reduce the amount of times you're stopped for just random inspections. That's an explanation of the bill, Madam Chairman, and I would yield any questions.
Thank you. I recognize Senator Blackman for a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, you're saying that the commercial vehicles are they're being randomly stopped now and it's only related to inspections?
That's correct. As I understand it, the Department of Transportation Enforcement Division, as now has been moved over to the Department of Public Safety. If there's a commercial vehicle traveling down the road, they have the right to stop that vehicle to perform a random inspection.
Okay, so right now, the law says that you can stop a commercial vehicle, and this commercial vehicle has to, I guess, meet certain standards.
That's correct.
And so now we're going to go to, if this passes, we're going to say they don't have to meet the standards that they're going to self-police. No, I'm sorry. They would come in and submit to a very detailed inspection. And the Department of Public Safety would set up rules and regulations to cover that. If they submit voluntarily to this inspection, they would receive a sticker because everything is in good working order. If law enforcement recognizes a violation, they're speeding or there's a strap that's broken, they can still stop that vehicle. It would only refrain them from stopping a vehicle that has a displayed permit that shows they've gone through the more detailed inspection. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Senator Whaley for a question.
When we talk about this voluntary inspection, where would it be at? What would the process be like for them to go to set that up?
I discussed that with the commissioner, and being from Northeast Mississippi, I didn't want people to travel all the way to Jackson. Would be the only way to have this inspection. So I think as they promulgate the rules over this, they know we need to have some regional availability, just a difficulty of travel and distance.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's where my concern was coming from, because I'd like for my log haulers, my grain haulers to have access to this as well, because I know that if they could have a designated day to come in and have this inspection done, that would alleviate a lot of time and resources, both with the trucker and with the law enforcement process. So I appreciate you bringing this bill up, and I know this is going to be a tremendous help.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator Younger for question.
How much would the inspection be?
That is something that they will work out in the process and promulgating their rules. And again, it is a voluntary process, but it's also something that I hope is safety driven, that people are willing to come forward, have their vehicles inspected. And that way, when law enforcement sees a vehicle that has a problem, they can spend more time on that instead of just a random stop of a vehicle that very well may meet all manners of inspection.
Other questions? Do I have a motion? All in favor? It's a committee sub, so the motion will be titled. Thank you. Any opposed? All right, that bill will be reported. Next will be Senate Bill 2519, motor vehicle loads. Again, I recognize Senator Sparks to explain the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. What we're trying to do in 2519, we had two statutes that conflicted themselves as it related to logging. Senator Parks, Senator Chisholm, and I were at a meeting with the Loggers Association in North Mississippi, and this was pointed out, and MDOT at the time, now CTED, acknowledged that two statutes said two different things about hauling. So what we have done with these two sections is we have not changed any weight restriction up or down. We have not changed any length restriction up or down. We have just clarified, and you see the underlying language in section 1, in subsection 6 and subsection 7 that directs to 63.747.2, which is section 2 of your bill, that simply states that during the period prescribed or described in 63.711, which is times of darkness or times of low visibility, that if you are transporting a load of timber products, so this is in relation to timber logging, that extends more than 4 feet beyond the rear body of that vehicle, you should have affixed as close as practical to the end of that load a rotating or oscillating amber strobe type lamp or light emitting diode light. And we had conflict in laws in the prior code section. So we wanted to make sure to reference to the law that had been passed that if you're going to move loads of timber or lumber, timber or forest products during that period of time, that you would follow this statute. There were some MDOT rules and regulations that were brought forward that conflicted also with these statutes. That's something that now that they do not have an enforcement arm, I think that we would again work with the Department of Public Safety and CTED to make sure that we're not frustrating the statutory language. And that's a brief explanation of the bill. I would yield any questions.
Questions by committee members? All right, do I hear a motion? All in favor, committee sub. The motion will be titled Submission to pass, committee sub. Any opposed? All right, that bill will be reported. The last bill is Senate Bill 2480. And there are two purposes in this bill. The first one, it just conforms the commodity list and the harvest permit. We made some changes to the commodity list several years ago. I think it may have been 2017 or 18. And I realized after session last year that the list was never updated in both parts of the harvest permit. And as all of you know, this permit is located in two sections of the law. One is the weight tolerance section, the other is the fee section. So what we're doing here is conforming the fee section to have the correct commodity list based on the changes that were made several years ago. So we're not adding or taking anything away, just conforming the language. This is contained on line 147 and again on line 367. The second thing that we're doing is the repealer is actually up this year on one part of the permit, so we're deleting that repealer. And that is the explanation of the bill. I'm happy to yield for questions. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. What is the deletion on line 218?
That's the repealer.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Motion? All in favor? Any opposed? That will be reported. Do I have another motion? Thank you.